face the folks right now. Woo. Hey. Need a book. Alrighty. What's up, vlog? Welcome back. Today's video is going to be something a little different. This is my year, 2024 in review. Alright, so we started off 2024 with an absolute banger of my favorite party every year at Nadia's. It was Harper and I's first show at a house party. Right after that, we went back to Tallahassee, where we had a few minor kickbacks that had some incidents. A door was broken, memories were made, friendships broken. My highlight of January was Night to Shine, where I went with Jake for the second year in a row. It's kind of a tradition now, so hyped and pumped about that this year. Also, around that same time, speaking about Jake, Happy Brew Coffee Shop was opened, and that was really cool. My parents worked really hard, and the rest of our family kind of helped, but Happy Brew is very important to me and the people that work there, and I love seeing Jake work there. It's truly inspiring. My battery's dying. Let me see what I can do here. Whatever, the battery's dying, but we're just gonna send it. February, continuing, I became closer with some of the Young Life guys, which are pretty cool. Shout out them. Going into March, the family took a trip to Aguadilla, Puerto Rico, our favorite spot. While we were there, I caught my first recorded biggest wave, I think, that I've been on. And also, while that's going, I wanted to tell y'all our dog, Lola, is named after our favorite spot there, Ola Lola's. You should try it. It's baller. April was pretty mid. Went to a few functions with the guys. We took a few beach trips, as one does. My roommate started dating someone. Go Gabe, he's up there. So yeah. May, as soon as class is out, I get in the car, go home for a day, and slide off to Disney World. What crazy. Thank you. Shout out Maddie and Haley, her sister. She wants a shout out. And also, I flew to Kanakuk right after that and did staff training for my first year as a counselor. My summer schedule after that was pretty wild. I flew back home, and then right after I got home, I had Vacation Bible School at my home church in Jacksonville. As soon as that ended, we went to Capernaum camp with the boys, Jake, Ray, met some new friends. That was awesome. And then outside of that was just a few surf trips, few gigs with Harper and Jed. And June 20th came, and I began my drive to Lampe, Missouri. I worked for 6 weeks, and it was pretty crazy. I love my campers. This brings us to about mid-August. I drove back home, saw all my friends for a little bit, and then they all drove up to Tallahassee or UF or wherever they were going. So I was just hanging back in Jack's, surfing pretty much every day, going to the Happy Brew every day. Hanging out with Jed and Harper, and that was awesome. And then that brings us to the next chapter of my life. On September 4th, I got aboard a plane and flew to Spain, where I was doing semester abroad for 4 months. Had no friends going in, was just sending it. Some people told me I was crazy, and they would be right. But I'm so glad I did it, and it was truly like one of the best experiences ever. So now I'm going to go through and tell you all about what I did in my semester abroad. So September had a lot, so I'll try and go fast through these. First, I designed a hat for Happy Brew back home. My second week in Spain ever, I took a solo trip to Alicante. So I went on this solo trip. It was insane. I literally slept on a cliff. That was so stupid of me looking back, but it's whatever. We're past that. That was a long time ago. I've grown a lot since then. Next up, in September, I went to the Valencia Mestalla Stadium, which is like where their competitive team is. And then that same day, I played cards with some locals at Valencia Oktoberfest, and that was like my first time really trying to speak Spanish with like real locals. Honestly, it went pretty great. I'd say that was a highlight. After that, me and some of the guys that I met in the program got on a train and went to the Buñol waterfall.
Send it.
And that was awesome. One of the craziest hikes of my life. And I learned how to climb. Learned or just did? I don't know. Don't recommend. Here's Philip.
Shouldn't have climbed up here.
After this, the very end of September going into October, the entire class was put on buses and went up to the Pyrenees Mountains, which is in between Spain and France. We don't like France from Spain. Anyways. That was a highlight. We did so many fun things, some cool hikes. We went whitewater rafting. That was literally awesome. After that trip, me and some friends went from Madrid and flew to Portugal. And then October 17th, we went to a paella farm. And I thought we were going to learn how to make paella, but really they just had us like picking vegetables out of their farm for the paella. It was still really cool and we had a good time, but that was awesome. We also pushed some chicken over the fire. So, I mean, it's like we cooked it. The next day, Diego, Josh, and I hopped on a train. It's a similar pattern here. And we went down to Javia, or somewhere near there. And we hitchhiked up to this place and we camped for the night and had the most beautiful sunrise ever. And it was amazing. It was like beautiful. We did some cool hiking. We rappelled down. Not rappelled. I don't know how you'd call it, but it was insane. And then we did some swimming, some diving. It was awesome. After this came fall break. I took an overnight bus from Valencia to the Basque Country, the other side of Spain, like completely across basically. And we rented a car and we slept out of a car and or camped for 8 days with the most gnarly waves. But let me tell you, this surf trip, I could talk about it forever. Like, ask me about it because I want to tell you about it. It was life-changing. It was so fun. It was awesome. That was definitely a highlight of my study abroad and year. Like, maybe probably the best surf ever. Next up, November hits. I saw these birds one day. I started reading my Bible more consistently, so that's a score. I oddly got into watching extreme snowboarding. That might be my next phase. November 8th, Philip and I took a camping trip with a few people that I would classify as rookies, and we were teaching them, showing them the ropes.
It's looking good.
So that was pretty fun. Oh, I forgot to mention, going back a little bit, the day before Halloween, you know, Talloweek is a thing, so I was dressed up the day before, bringing the culture to Valencia, and now I'm on a 6S. It's a blessing in disguise, really. It cut my screen time down. I can't really use it for that many things because the apps are too old, so no social media or stuff like that. But basically, I'm just balling without it. So November 13, I get aboard a plane and fly to Morocco. That's where my cousins live. I surfed a little bit, hiked a little bit, hung out a lot. That was an amazing trip. And then after that, I flew straight back to Madrid, went and met up with my class. We had a class field trip there. So for 4 more days, I was in Madrid hanging out. And then I get on a plane out of Madrid and fly to Milan, Italy to meet up with my best friend, Will Crawford, who's studying abroad in London. So we met in Milan, and it was the craziest meetup ever. Like, hanging out with with the friends I made in Valencia was awesome. But, like, just seeing a familiar face that I'd known for so long, like, for the first time, it was like, I don't know. I can't even explain it. Like, it was just so fun hanging out with him after, like, not seeing anybody I knew for so long. Milan was absolutely insane. Like, the lore there is crazy. But we'll fast forward, skip that. I go back home. I just was on, like, 12 days straight of travel or something like that, and I was dead. That brings us to Thanksgiving. We had something special with our group on our floor. We would have dinner once a week, so for Thanksgiving, everybody made a dish and brought it. And that brings us to December. So here's some unseen footage. December 8th, I convinced the program director to take me sailing with Philip, and he brought us with his family and 24 of his, like, family and their kids on their, like, yearly trip. I did not know that's what I was signing up for, but it was awesome. That was, like, straight up Spanish, you know, like I'm saying, Espanol type vibe. Nobody spoke English for real. That was extreme. And then after that, I finished up with finals, and then the fam came up. I got to surprise my whole family when I saw them, and that was pretty exciting. And then that brings us to the new year. So, not going to spoil anything further, but we have big things planned, and I can't wait to show you them. So, see ya.